This guy is in the Hall of Fame consensus Hall of Famer, and I think he sucks. Troy Aikman is absolutely.
Let's go!
So overrated. He is so overrated.
Those glasses that you're wearing and that fire behind you, I cannot even come close to embarrassing myself as much as you have.
Drink coffee, lady, tonight, yeah.
Thank you. And some people, apparently like Louis, don't like almond goals, and those people are in it.
I'm gonna give you the best deal, the greatest of deals. We need the tight end. We're big on the tight end.
You're not saying embarrassing songs. You're just saying songs that make me dry. So like,
hard to deal with. And I'm just saying, there ain't no rules about a man having 3 legs. I'm just saying.
Nick Foles was also a 3-leg, but it's funny in the chat. Ellie just asked if we could get Ryan Coleman jersey. Funny you say that. I ordered it the day after round 2 of the draft. I ordered it that Saturday. So it's on its way. It's already pre-ordered. So whenever they start picking those things for shipping out, you get one.
wait. You paid money to the NFL when Louis could have gotten you one for free?
I could have gotten you one that said KOHLM.
Cole's man.
Working all night, need more though. I remember nights I was poor though. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and I get it up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and I get it up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus.
Hi, happy Sunday.
I laughed hard during that during your intro, because I wonder how many of our listeners, I know we have millions, and they're just sitting there on like a Wednesday and they're like, man, I'm wondering how many days. I gotta Google how many days it is to the Super Bowl. They're like, you know what? We'll just wait until we listen to the podcast, because Allie's gonna have that. Allie's gonna have that info. I love it.
Analytics. It's data. It's not data. We're gonna acknowledge that Ryan is not with us this week. He is out sick. He is still alive, so nothing to be too worried about.
I have a hypothesis.
Oh, tell me.
I think this is all a ruse. I think Ryan saw my mustache, my new mustache on social media, was like, man, that looks really good on him. I'm going to try it. And then he did it, but it doesn't look as good on him. And he was worried about how it would look so I think he's taking some time off, trying to grow back the facial hair, or find a razor. I don't know which one it takes a while to find a razor.
Your blindness. Okay. Yeah. And and Ryan has a great beard. It's like, it's good. So how do you feel if you're an audio listener, Louis has, it's a mustache. It's almost like a goatee, but it's not. It's like a drippy Hulk Hogan mustache.
Wait, I have some takes on this, but I don't think a mustache adds to anybody cosmetically. There are women that love it. Trust me, I've had the DMs the last few days to back it up. I don't get it. But here's my another. Look at 2 minutes in, you got two hypotheses. Hypotheses. Sorry. Women love a mustache, not because it makes a guy look better, but if you're walking around that confident when you got something that ugly on your face, like, oh my God, you're trying to pull that thing off, like that dude fucks. I think that's really what the attraction is.
Oh, so you don't think it's because it makes the woman look better, so then she's like, oh, I'm the better looking one, and
very possibly could be that. That's solid. That's another good one.
Do you think it's a foot fetish? Like people love mustaches, like they love feet?
I don't think it goes that far. I think it's a personality thing. I think if they see somebody you like, you have to be kind of cool to pull off a mustache. And I think this is a really big moment for my self-confidence because I've never thought that I can pull one off. But here I am. I'm like, wow, I'm cool enough to pull off a mustache now.
How long are we keeping this on for?
I don't know. Let's talk about the poll that I took on Instagram. It was supposed to be anonymous, but I didn't set that up that way. And it was, should I keep it or should I shave this off because you're so ugly? And there was one vote, and it was you that voted, please shave it off immediately. So that was hurtful. I don't want to lie about that.
Oh, so sorry. Well, if we're going to be a little self-deprecating, it is Sunday morning. I do my skincare routine. I have sunscreen on because I will be walking my dogs outside at some point. And it looks like I just poured like liquid glass on my face. So if you're watching, I have very dry skin in real life. It's just like cute.
You do look like you're glowing.
Morning. Can we talk about, do you think we can get like a sunscreen sponsor if I'm like this trash?
Yeah. Oh man.
So let's talk, let's do some fun stuff. A couple exciting things. We should talk more exciting dating stuff, right? Let's do this first.
Okay.
Speaking of mustaches, 69-year-old Raiders owner Mark Davis said his very beautiful 26-year-old girlfriend didn't know he was a billionaire, and she said she was just attracted to his beautiful smile when they met. Okay, so we all have discussed there's mustache confidence. What about short mullet bangs? Like, is that?
I mean, it is hard to look at that dude and assume that he's a billionaire, because you would think a billionaire would have a better haircut. But there's the Trumps of the world that maybe it's a thing. Maybe it's like a mustache. Maybe it's a confidence thing. He's like, I can walk around looking like this. All right.
So there was a new study that came out too, that said, or more, just research on it, that there's this rumor that like married men get more attention from single women. And like they see a wedding ring and all of a sudden they're more attracted. And there's a reason, because men who are married have like women who are like, all right, you're not going out in public like that. Shave the mustache, grow the beard back, right? Like there's those things. But there's like, and like they have a nicer house because a woman's like, okay, yeah, we're going to get a bed frame, not just a mattress on the floor. Like there's things like that. So I wonder if she just thought he's a regular poor guy because he looks like shit. I don't know.
I don't know if you noticed this the other night, but there are, when I go out for a night on the town, been separated 2 years, but sometimes throw the old wedding ring back on, because that's the way I got to go that night. And I'll just say your studies, I'm just trying to give you that you're factual. You're spitting out facts right now. Your studies are correct. And I believe that to be very true.
How well, for all the hardworking men and women who put together some of these men that now can wear button downs and iron their clothes, thank you for all the hard work. And I'm sorry that there are people that are awful. All right. There's that. Oh man. Okay. So there is a list that just came out. You want
to know one thing I don't like about this is it not having a beard is I never knew I had a third chin, and so I sent a picture of the mustache. First person I sent it to was our good friend Kyle Turner, and I sent him right when I got out, and I go, hide your moms, and he said, I don't need you, she's already hiding in that third chin of yours. I was like, oh no. So yeah, I got to do the fat girl angle thing.
You got to do your MySpace angles?
Yeah, I have to. I have the whole from up here.
Do you have? This is going to sound probably. I don't know. I'm asking this out loud. Do you have about 30 books you can put under your laptop? No.
I think the funniest part of that joke is that you think I have 30 books.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm sorry. I cut you off with my stupidity.
Or do you have 6 very large bricks? Probably that, right? Okay. Okay. Cans of paint that aren't fully used. Okay. So there has been a new poll that came out of the most hated NFL teams. This was done by X, formerly known as Twitter. Any negative sentiment towards an individual NFL team was calculated. And these are tweets or X's that are posted that are like, I hate the 49ers, like that's how they tally it. So there's a new most hated team in America, formerly held by the Dallas Cowboys, America's least favorite team. The new winner of the most hated team in America is the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah. I think that there's a lot to do. There's a couple things with that. I think one, when you're on top, you're the most hated normally, right? Like everybody wants to hate the champion or hate the guys on top. I mean, I hate when people complain about the Rust, but like, let's be real, their games this year have been like unreal, like the breaks that they get.
Unbelievable.
So, I think a lot of that is people reacting to stuff like that and being like, oh, and it's the old Patriots way, right? Like if Twitter was around during which it was, I know I can't stop.
I'll be like your emotional support friend that also puts her shirt over her chin.
Thank you very much. No, I can't. It's like the Patriots, right? Like when they cheated or all this stuff, like you would shit on them, and now they're getting the calls. They're not very likable. So many people, you either love or hate Travis Kelce because the whole Taylor Swift thing, and so I get it. And when no one's going to be talking about the the Panthers are easy to hate, but no one's going to talk about them because they're 0-3, so I get it. But
so I'll just say the top like 5, and I'll do the bottom, be the most liked or the least cared about. So top 5 most hated are, and to your point, this makes sense. Chiefs, Cowboys, Eagles, Ravens, Patriots, also Giants, Jets. So I think the Giants hates come from, I don't know, but the Jets, it's a New York City kind of thing. I get it.
Yeah, I think it's well, I mean, they're the most passionate fans, and the 2 New York teams suck or make sense because obviously the most populated areas. So there's a lot more fans for them, and we know as Western New Yorkers, like fandom for Jets and Giants like come all the way even this way, but they've also been a shit show for the last decade, so between Daniel Jones and all that, so people are in there shitting on them. And
then the most liked / no one cares to talk about the most liked team would be the Lions, Falcons, Saints, Panthers, Broncos.
Well, Broncos because they're just all hippies. They don't even use the computer out there in Denver. They have meetings. They have town meetings about their thoughts on the Broncos. Who else was it? Wait, name the
Lions, Falcons, Saints, Panthers, and then it goes Broncos, Titans, Chargers, Browns, Rams, Vikings, Bills. So so Chiefs, Lions. So that's top to bottom.
Yeah. Lions are a little bit weird, but I would think that they would be more hated, but I think that has to do locally or at least recently with Dan Campbell because everybody loves him and thinks he's Dan Campbell.
I mean, we all love Coach Mike at the Dolphins, and they are middle. They're right under the 49ers. Yeah. So then it's like the Bills are little bit, they're more on the likable side. Bills, Vikings, Rams, Browns. It's just if you make the AFC or NFC championship, then you're just kind of liked. So we have a big Sunday going on. We've got a lot of fun things we'll watch in the Red Zone. We don't have to watch the full game, right? So let's talk about each game going on tonight. So Saints versus Falcons. What are your big fantasy takes?
So I mean, this game you have the couple injuries with Kamara and Olave. They both look like they're going to play. So, but I feel a little just bit off on this game as far as like really expecting big things outside of Bijan. I got some bets in on, and when I say bets, I mean I'm taking him in a lot of 50-50 situations as Kyle Pitts. So I like, I guess, the Atlanta Stars a little bit more in this game. The Saints are tough. Shaheed with the donut last week, he didn't even get a catch after having the couple really good starts, and now Olave's injury that you don't know how that's going to play out. Kamara, I don't know. I'm staying away from most of the Saints, but starting obviously Bijan everywhere. Mooney's a good little second play here. The second wide receiver for the Falcons. He started coming on last week. I think you can consider him probably like a top end wide receiver 3 this week, but I do have some bad feelings about the Saints, guys.
All right. Next up, Colts versus Steelers. What are your takes?
So with the Colts, I'm really expecting big things from Josh Downs here. He just came back last week. Pittman does not look like he's in sync with Richardson. Richardson obviously doesn't look in sync with anybody, but I think he's going to start getting his game together. Josh Downs and him were getting rave reviews in the preseason, so I'm expecting some things. I'm betting a little bit on Downs coming up. I do think the both running games are going to struggle a little bit compared to what they normally do. Jonathan Taylor and Najee Harris, I'm not expecting huge things. And I have them ranked a little bit lower than most. George Pickens is becoming a must start for me. Justin Fields, I think, because of his ceiling, is a top 10 quarterback for me. I do think the Colts win this game. I think the Steelers are the worst 3-0 team in history. But go on.
Well, to that point, I think the Steelers last week showed at their home opener, or their that they looked a little better, and then they kind of crashed in the second half of the game. But
I just don't think I love Justin Fields. I love that he's getting his chance. I love him in fantasy, but I just something about them feels just like they're, this is a coaching league, and they're a well-coached team, and they're smart and whatever. But I think the Colts go in there and win today.
I'm going to say Fields is going to be a sleeper today. I think he's
okay. I like him. I have him as a top 10 quarterback this week, and it's hard not to it's hard not to take what he has as a ceiling because of his rushing ability. He can run 2-3 touchdowns in a game and not be shocking.
All right. Next up, we have Jags versus Texans. What's your take?
The Jags just looked so bad against the Bills last week. And I don't think this is the end for Trevor Lawrence. I really don't. But this offense is a little bit like the Bills, but like shittier. And what I mean by that is you never know which skill position player is really going to pop off because they do spread the ball around, and the offense isn't running nearly as efficient as Buffalo. So it doesn't have the ceiling. Kirk has a decent game and a losing game script last week against us, and Brian Thomas Jr. looks like the truth. I guess I'm starting both of those guys mostly everywhere. I'm scared off of Lawrence until he shows that he's turning it around. I have him as like my quarterback 18 this week. The Texans are going to be fun today. We're still waiting on Mixon news. I'm leaning towards him not playing, which makes Cam Akers probably a top 10 running back. And then with the injury to Tank Dell, this can be a really big Stephon Diggs game. Nico Collins is always going to eat and be top, but I think Stephon Diggs can have a monster game today.
I love it.
Do you? You love that, Stephon? You still have Stephon Diggs left?
I do, and I'm excited for. Next week, the Bills. I'm excited.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. I'm pretty shocked that that's not I thought that would be a primetime game with the Diggs and Bills whole thing.
Yeah, I know people who are going down, but to the game. But I still think I think the Texans are beatable, but
Yeah, for sure.
Another 3-0 team. We've got the Vikings versus Packers. What's your take?
Sam Darnold, right? I've been telling you guys since April. Sam Darnold, his resurgence. I like him again in this game. I know the Packers are a small favorite, and everyone's betting on the Vikings. So usually that doesn't vote well for. I said vote well. Sorry, it doesn't go well for that situation. So I almost as a better lean Packers in this game. But I think Aaron Jones going back to Green Bay, like I'm a sucker for a revenge game. I think he has a monster game. Packers with Jordan Love back is going to be weird again to see. We didn't get it. They have 4 really strong wide receivers. We didn't get enough of him to see really who he was going to lean towards in his mind. And then we got Malik Willis for a game and a half. So I'm interested to see what of those wide receivers really sticks out today. And I guess you got to kind of lead Jayden Reed, but I'm a big Romeo Doubs fan, and I wonder if that starts happening today.
Yeah, the Packers are favored to win this. And just so we're all on the same page, the stats for the all-time wins for this Vikings and Packers, it's the Packers are up 65-57-3. So they are statistically more likely to win. So all right.
In Green Bay for sure.
Yeah.
It's gonna be. I'm excited to watch that game. It's like to me that's like the best game of the week. I like the Aaron Jones going back to Green Bay thing. It'll be fun.
All right, Bengals versus Panthers. What's your hot take?
I don't know. It's so easy. Again, sucker for a revenge game. It's so easy to want to bet on Andy Dalton here playing against Cincinnati again. But he's had other games against Cincinnati since he's been gone. This isn't like the first one, and I don't think it's going to make a big difference. I like the Bengals pretty easily in this game, which kind of scares me on using their skill position players. Like I think this is a big Zach Moss game, and obviously you have to play Chase, but I think I'd have Higgins a lot lower than most this week. And the Panthers, I think, are going to have a really good opportunity at wide receiver. I think Deontay Johnson eats today for sure. I'm almost a little bit lower on most than Hubbard because I do think that they're going to be playing from behind. And then this could be that breakout game for Xavier Legette, the rookie wide receiver for the Panthers. I think he can have a really monster game. And I'm trying to find as many opportunities to get him started.
All right. Rams versus Bears.
Rams, Bears, I think I think this is I hate I've been saying this about like Kyle Pitts for 3 years now, but I do think this is the Caleb Williams game. I know it's only 3 weeks in, but he's been struggling. Obviously, I think this is the week he gets it together. It's the same offense that he had the whole off season. So Keenan Allen comes back. I think this is the Roschon Johnson game. I think this is the day 2 that we realize that Roschon Johnson is going to be the starter running back in Chicago the rest of the year. Also been waiting for that for 2 years, but I think today is the day that happens. So I'm betting on Roschon in a lot of places. I do think it's going to be a competitive game. I think the Rams might even find a way to pull this off. I think that they're better than most people think, but I think this could be a very offensive, high-scoring game. So I like almost all the skill positions in this game more than most.
And they're both fighting for 2-2. So
yeah.
All right, Broncos versus the Noodle, Aaron Rodgers, and the Jets. Any takes?
The Jets are the biggest favorite of the week. I want to say I could be wrong, but I think this is the biggest spread of the week, 7.5. I don't think you can the way that they play. I don't think you could ever consider them that big of a favorite. And also none of the big favorites this year have covered because of how crazy the league's been. So I do like the Broncos to cover in a close game. I do think Jets win. It's going to be a tough day for Bo Nix. I hate the Broncos running game. I'm sitting Cortland Sutton almost everywhere because I just don't think he's going to do well against Sauce. And so a Breece Hall game for sure for the Jets. I like Rodgers in some spots. It's just if they do get up big in this game, what does that mean for Wilson or Lazard? They might not get tons of receiving yards. So Breece Hall all day, though. He's probably my RB1 this week.
Okay. All right. Eagles versus Bucks.
Johnny Wilson, another player that I've been talking about for 3 months. This is going to be the Johnny Wilson game. Not because he's earned it or anything like that, but because the Eagles have so many injuries now with no A.J. Brown and no Devontae Smith. Johnny Wilson will get his opportunity this week, along with a whole bunch of other guys that you haven't heard of. Even Britton Covey is now on the IR, so it's going to be Johnny Wilson, Paris Campbell, John Ross, I think. So hopefully if Johnny Wilson has the profile that I feel like he has and has been high on it, this will be a little bit of a breakout for him. The Bucks, I'm staying away from that running back situation today. I don't know what we're going to get out of Rachaad White or Bucky Irving, and I know everyone's really high on Bucky Irving right now, but I'm going to kind of play that with caution until we kind of see how that breaks out. So Johnny Wilson, and then fade the Bucks running backs.
All right. Commanders versus Cardinals, the double C's. What are we doing? We're not watching the game. No one.
No, I think this is another really high scoring, great fantasy matchup, to be honest. I think Jaden Daniels and Kyler are both going to ball out. I think they could be, honestly, quarterback 1 and quarterback 2 for the week. I mean, I just think that they both have some high potential against both weak defenses. This can go everything from without McBride. I love Elijah Higgins this week. I think he still has a pretty big game. And then Marvin Harrison should eat. Michael Wilson can probably have a huge game. Commanders wide receivers are a little bit tough to decide. They're like they don't really have an alpha. McLaurin's been struggling. He had the big catch last week, but I just like this game to be like 34-31. So put these players in your lineups, basically.
All right. Pats versus the 49ers. Who are we going?
Well, this is the one you don't watch. Yeah. I'll say that. I think this one's going to be pretty ugly. The Pats defense has been a little bit better than expected, but the 49ers are getting back Debo and Kittle this week, but always just a little bit hesitant to put in guys like that, especially after Jennings went nuclear last week and in their absence. I don't think that they're going to be rushing to give them a bunch of snaps if they're not 100% healthy. I think you have to start Kittle. I might get beat up for this online, but I don't think you need to start Debo this week. I think he's questionable. And then the Pats, I can't start anybody against this 49ers defense on that offense. I love the idea of Jalen Polk. He's the rookie wide receiver there. He just hasn't clicked yet. And until Drake May takes over there, they're just untouchable in fantasy.
I thought you were going to say, and the Pats, I haven't paid attention to them since Tom Brady left. I thought you were going to say that.
And it's true. You really, it's so funny as Buffalonians, right? Like, because we hated them and they were like, it's quick how it changed, because a lot of people tell the story. I'm sure it's similar for you, is that one game that we finally beat them at home, like after 14 years of not beating them or whatever. And the fact that it was like a week 3 win, and the jubilation I had, I was close to tears, and people talk about how it was one of their coolest moments in the stadium ever. And that was just a week 3 regular season win against this team. Now it's like, oh yeah, they suck. Those are games you don't even want to go to because of how bad they suck. It's just so crazy how, one quarterback and one head coach really make a difference.
We're also a city where a mustache could make a guy thrive in. We're very I know it's good. To the Browns versus Raiders. Who are your big fantasy picks for this week?
I love Trey Tucker here in this game, no matter who's throwing the ball. I can't play. I would have loved to try to start Minshew this week. But if he struggles, he's on a short leash, and they might go with Aiden O'Connell quickly. So I'm staying away from that. I do like Trey Tucker with Adams out. Bowers is going to be tight end 1. I mean, it's hard not to believe that. And then with the Browns, I don't know. I mean, Jerome Ford's healthy, I guess. He should have a decent game. Cooper might eat versus former team. I'm not putting a lot of stock in the Browns offense each week, even though Cooper is probably one to target this week. I can't trust Deshaun Watson.
All right. The most questionable 3-0 team, the Chiefs versus the Chargers. Who are the refs picking for this game?
I know.
But
don't you think as a smart league, if they really thought that they were getting this bad attention for it, don't you think like one of these games they'd be like, hey, like, why don't you do one for the other team this week to make it look like we're not trying? I don't know. I know you kind of said that in jest, but I really don't think you're that wrong. As far as I know, the Steelers are really bad, but like I think the Chiefs are a little bit of a fake 3-0 team. They are 3-0 and they're just champs, so like whatever. I don't love the Chargers game plan this year, and it's tough for fantasy, but I do think they have a good chance of beating them this week. So as far as fantasy goes, again, the Chiefs, I'm not ready to bet on Kelsey getting the back until I see it. I do love Kareem Hunt. I've told everybody here that like Kareem Hunt was going to have that job in 3 weeks. I think he could have it as early as this week. So Kareem Hunt's a real fun start this week. And as far as the Chargers go, outside of my boy J.K. Dobbins, it's hard to pick anybody. I'm going Quentin Johnson in a lot of spots. And I do like McConkey. It's hard to trust where he would be each week. So he's like wide receiver 45, I think, for me right now. And then for the Chiefs, like I said, I think this could just be a Kareem Hunt game and and then spread out with the wide receivers, flip a coin and pick your wide receiver because it's always changing.
All right. Another 3-0 team, the Buffalo Bills versus the Baltimore Ravens. What do you got?
I have said this the last 2 weeks, but I think this might be the game that the Bills lose. Like, I think it would be totally the weather doesn't look great right now either. So I think that kind of makes the game closer for Baltimore if Josh can't move around and throw the ball like he normally does. So we'll see with that, but I don't love that game. I think that the Ravens are going to attack the Bills across the middle. So I do think that this could be a Mark Andrews game. I think this could be the first game that he shows back up. But again, call it him, call it Isaiah Likely. But I think I'm starting both those guys this week. I think they both can eat against the Bills. I'm sitting Flowers. The Bills have done well against Lamar Jackson, and this year, like the number ones and the other teams have not ate yet. Like I would be sitting Flowers. Derrick Henry. Travis Henry had another child. Derrick Henry. Will have a really good game against us too. I think he'll run the ball well. As far as the Bills go, man, it's so hard to pick somebody that's gonna do well if their name isn't Josh Allen or James Cook. It's just tough to pick a guy. I think they're going to. What's that?
You think Kincaid will have a good game?
I don't think he matches up well. They're not using a lot, and I don't think that he matches up well against this Ravens defense. I honestly think if the Bills have a chance to win, they're going to have to use their outside receivers, and that's Keon Coleman or like MVS that they or Mac Hollins even that they use sometimes on the outside. Like I think it's going to have to be a game where those guys beat those corners. To the outside because the Ravens are pretty good with the slot guys and across the middle. So I'm scared about Shakir and Kincaid this week. I would probably play Coleman in a pinch.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be one of those games where there's gonna be a lot of shots of the offensive coordinator. But I also think Mark Andrews has a lot to prove today for Baltimore, and I think the Bills are smart enough to know that, so it's gonna be interesting. Next up, the Tennessee Titans and the Miami Dolphins. What's your take?
Next game. Like
Honestly,
it's gonna well, it's a Monday nighter, and luckily we're still doing the 2 Monday night game, so you don't have to watch this one. If you don't, there will be another game on, and it's just gonna be ugly. I mean, Levis has been a disaster. Dolphins are starting Snoop Huntley. My cat is trying to knock a mirror off of the wall. I hate kittens. Next time I will. You're my life advice. The next time I make a big decision like this, I am going to talk to you first, so you can guide me better than getting 2 kittens at the same time.
So if you're a fan of the show, you know that Louis got 2 kittens because his daughter was like, I want that. And he was like, okay. I did hear a little meowing, and I was like, you know how kids have that weird stage where they make cat noises?
Yeah. You just thought it might just be Jelena.
It definitely happens eventually. And, so I was like, maybe that's just Jelena meowing. And I was like, oh, right. Those are your cat. That's a long day of cats.
Yeah, it's a long day, cats. So I'm sorry. But Snoop Huntley is going to be in for the Dolphins. I think he could actually be fun. I don't know if the wide receiver. I'm really scared to start Tyreek Hill, but you have to. I'm definitely not starting Jalen Waddle in some spots, and then, but I think Achane kills. And I do think Snoop Huntley, like by himself, because he has some rushing ability, like has some potential to be a QB1 actually this week. So I don't hate that. I'm not starting Ridley or Hopkins almost anywhere. The tight end situation, there's a mess. Even the running back situation in Tennessee, like between Pollard and Spears, like none of them have a ceiling. I hate it. This is the game that we should. This is the game that the NFL is going to help us with, because the other Monday night options, the Titans, Dolphins, and no one's going to want to watch that. But this game will be on half hour later. Just deal with the Titans for 30 minutes and then switch over. And this is a tin hat guy. I know once in a while we put on our tin hats on the show, but a little part of me is like, they're going to want that the referees in the league are going to want that game opened up a little bit offensively with penalties or whatever which way, because of how bad the other option is going to be that's on TV. I just think that they're going to want to market this game. I could see this being a really high scoring game because of that. Geno, Metcalf, JSN, even Fant's got a lot of value in here. The running back situation is a little bit messy now. Kenneth Walker is good to go. Charbonnet's done really well in his absence. Does that get to be more of a 60-40 type of role rather than 80-20 like it was? But you got to play probably both of them. And then the Lions, same thing. Both the running backs are good. Laporta's back. Jameson Williams, St. Brown. Like, you got to start all these guys. I think it could be, it most likely is, I don't know this for sure, the highest total of the week. But if it's not, I feel like that's going to end up being the highest scoring game of the week.
Well, not to bust your conspiracy, but the NFL is not $1 billion institution, so you're fine. That's a fun week. We have fun day ahead of us. I think the Seattle Lions game is going to be much more exciting than that Titans Dolphins.
I think I know what my options or my viewing option will be that day.
Yeah, and it's watching the news. Okay. Excellent. Any other? Oh, I think a cool thing that's also, we talked about the red zone for a second. I think it's the greatest. But the NHL is now doing their version of the red zone coming up, which I think will be kind of cool. And maybe sports will change completely, where we just absorb 500 things at once now, because
we're all because we all have ADHD and need constant attention. That's it. I think that's that's the world we're getting into, but that's fine. I'm getting to a point pretty soon. I realized this yesterday when I was hungover after our night out, and I realized we're getting closer to a world that I will not have to ever leave my couch. Like you get stuff delivered, like Amazon's got everything. Yeah, I just got to find a way to make money from home, and I'm here.
Yeah, I know you have a different job, but work from home, like people have been doing that for some time. So
yeah,
one more pandemic. But we are not doing a draft today, correct?
No draft today, so we're all set. You can go enjoy your Sunday like a normal human being. I have to go sweat out 120 lineups before noon or before 1. So I have my next 2 hours planned, and then yeah, we'll see you Wednesday.
Excellent. We'll see you Wednesday. And then again, if you want to be the not the life of the party, tell everyone that it's 133 days until the Super Bowl. Thank you everyone for listening. Good luck today. Good luck tomorrow. We'll see you Wednesday. And this has been the Analytics for the Nerds podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe.